This is an exciting day. Not only is Tom Holtz joining us on the hang.
Hey
Hi,
guys.
hi, Tom.
Hey,
But
Tom.
Lance is in a new place, and he's not in a new place.
Emotionally,
Yeah, emotion.
mentally, I'm like in a
He's
new place, baby.
he is he used to be in the basement.
I
Now
broke
he
out.
is upstairs, and we recorded an interview for the Brass Junkies
It
earlier
applied the
today.
lotion, and then it
and
escaped.
and I was like, I was very disoriented because his lighting was awesome, and now that it's not daylight out, his lighting sucks again.
There's a
So
window right there.
yeah, so we're back to
So I got to move a lamp or something.
back to
but
normal.
Right now, ain't gonna
Um,
happen.
Lance, have you noticed that there is a sword sticking through Holtz's head?
I've been thinking about that for years.
There's next to a sign that says "Ruiner." There's just a sword that is going right through your head.
If you have any questions about me at this point, they should all be answered pretty much.
And I'm reminded that Sam Palafian told me not to learn how to play the bass, which is also next to you, although he was talking electric bass, because it would ruin the tuba for me, because it is so much easier to play bass lines on. And I learned this much during the pandemic of how to play bass lines on electric bass. And what do you know? The little Armenian dude from Miami was right. I got pissed at my tuba because it's just like leading tones. It's just like you don't even know what the note is. You just go one up or one down and move to it, and it's like, hey, I sound like I know what I'm doing, and I have been playing for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said the tuba is going to piss you off the next time you pick it up, and I never wanted to go there. That's actually my grandfather's old string bass.
Wow.
So yeah. And at some point, it's like sitting there mocking me. Basically, I should get that thing fixed up and learn how to play it. Just for sentimental reasons. But yeah,
you should learn how to play the tuba first. Hey-o.
Oh, there we go.
Swords fired.
Oh goodness. So the reason that we are having Holtz on is not a happy one, of course. We very suddenly lost a very dear friend this week, Dennis Askew. And if this entire thing, and this is nothing official, we're going to do a Brass Legacy project for Dennis, like down the road. This was just something where I thought that Tom could hop on with us, and he shared a couple of things on Facebook that were not only heartfelt but made me laugh. And so I know that if we were just like somber the whole time and we didn't open joking about swords going through Tom's head, that if Dennis is watching this somewhere, he would be pissed at us for like bumming everyone out and not acting like the idiots that we are. So anyway, but we got to talk about it. I mean, he was a giant in the business, and to each of the three of us. And Lance and I each had the opportunity. This is for Tuesday's episode. We actually interviewed David Zirkle, who is he teaches at I think it's Michigan
He's
State.
A tuba player,
Did I get
Tom.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Illinois. It's one of the Big Ten schools. I remember that much.
Aren't they all though now? Like Rutgers is a big. Yeah, the Big Ten has like 60 schools in it now.
I thought that's where Dave was Rutgers. Am I wrong?
Yep, he teaches now at Rutgers. So
St. Mary's.
Yeah, Alan got fired apparently. I guess we're breaking news here. So you heard it here first, maybe because we made it up. But he teaches, of course, the University of Michigan, and we actually at the end of our episode, the three of us each, which will be live on Tuesday, shared some thoughts about Dennis. But it seemed weird for us to hop on this and not talk about it, and I instantly thought of you. So why don't actually, if you could please start with the story that you told about Alex, which had me laughing when I was not in the mood to laugh, but you made me laugh because it was hilarious.
And it's the funniest things you can't make up. We had this we had a tuba rock band that played at right there. It's funny. So right off the bat, we're good to go.
Yeah, that's not. He hasn't gotten to the funny part yet.
Right,
although some of you think that he.
Yeah.
Tip your waiters.
Tip your waitresses. Try the veal. We had this band. We played at it was the ITEC big conference in Minneapolis in 1998, and we basically had one rehearsal to pull everyone together and get this. And Dennis, being the amazing, kind-hearted soul that he is, he's come on down to Greensboro. You can all crash at my place. we'll get together here. We'll work out the charts. We'll take care of business. And we all descended on his house with the tubas and everything. And he loaned me the sousaphone he'd had sitting around. His wife Kim had seen a sousaphone at a yard sale or a garage sale, and was thinking, "Wow, $25 for a sousaphone, perfect." But I think she thought she could
pricey,
do better.
But I'll do it.
Yeah, it was a little pricey, but I'll do it. And then she decided she was going to play the odds, and looked interested, and then left, and came back later on in the day, and I think they just wanted it out of the house.
That's weird.
Shocking. I know. That doesn't compute. So they basically just gave her this sousaphone, and showed up. Hey, honey, look what I got. Look what I picked up today, along with the donuts and the bleach. Here's your sousaphone. But I had a sousaphone for the gig.
What's she doing with donuts and bleach?
That's I think if you're Googling donuts and bleach, I have a feeling you're on some sort of a watch list.
That's going to put you on a watch list so fast. Don't do it.
Bleach.
Don't do it.
That'd be a good song.
But we
what was the name of the band, by the way?
Fifth Bass.
Fifth Bass.
Fifth Bass.
Word.
Because there were 5 of us on low brass instruments.
Okay.
That's...
Easy. Don't hurt yourself.
If you put half that much creativity into the actual product, I'm sure it was fantastic.
It was. Yeah, the product came off pretty well. At one point during that after hours reception, the bride and bridal party at the wedding reception next door to us blew off the reception and came in to dance to the tuba band, which, underneath the sousaphone, nobody was more surprised than I that this was happening. But I was flanked by a keyboardist and a drummer from Nashville, so I did not care one bit. I was having a great time. But I digress.
Did you catch the bouquet?
The bouquet was long gone at that point.
Gotcha.
No, we had one rehearsal at Dennis's house to patch this thing together, and we stayed up way too late, and then put the horns down and stayed up later than that. And Dennis had all the arrangements set up. He had me in a bed in the spare room, which had over the years turned into the kids' playroom. So all the kids' toys are in here. That's where
I stayed, I think.
Right. Yeah. So for the adults, it's the spare room. For Alex, who is 5 or 6, this is party central. This is the place to be. And so whatever Saturday or Sunday morning, whatever that was, he's up at the crack of dawn. He's ready to play. And there's this dude sleeping in the bed in there. And he comes in, and he's super polite the first time. He comes up and he's shaking me gently. And it's like, "Excuse me, it's time to wake up." And I've only been asleep for a few hours, and I'm not right. And
for anybody who doesn't know Alex, this child is now a band director. So
right.
Yeah, just for context.
Exactly. And I'm trying to mumble, "Oh, it's not time to get up." Dude, little buddy, it's
no habla inglés.
No habla inglés.
Poquito human.
Make it stop. And it lasted about 3 minutes, and he turned into a band director at 6 years old. He comes in at full volume, "Say, it's time to wake up." And now I'm up. And he was like showing me all the cool toys in the room. He's, "Oh, I got," and it's just one thing after another. And I can barely keep the thought going. So I just kind of sneak out of the playroom. He's rocking and rolling in there. And the computer is still sitting down on the dining room table where I'd been working on stuff, and I'm up. So now I got to just do something. And I'm pulling out an arrangement from the night before, and I'm doing the part layout, and I'm sitting there and working. And here comes Alex up next to me. And now, because it's a laptop, this is the coolest thing in the house, and he wants to know all about it. He thinks I'm playing a game, and I'm like, no, this is music. Let me play some of it for you. This is what we were playing last night. And he thought that was super cool. He goes bolting upstairs, and he comes back down with the little toy laptop computer. It's like green and pink plastic and has a little card that sticks in and like reads a story to you or something. So he comes down, and he parks next to me in the chair right next to me, and he puts the laptop on the table next to mine. and he opens up the lid to like the exact same angle as mine. I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. This is amazing. I wish anybody was here to see this. And of course, he puts the little card in and flips the switch, and the pig says, the story goes off, and I'm just, all right, well, there we are. And I'm knocking out euphonium parts. He's playing his game, and Dennis came in through the kitchen and absolutely flipped watching the two of us at the table, watching Alex sitting there doing his thing while I've got like almost no consciousness in my face, and Alex is and Alex is at 100 miles an hour doing his thing. So he enjoyed it for just a couple of minutes, just sat there and just ate it up. And you could just tell how immensely proud of his kid he was. And he enjoyed it for just a few minutes, and then went to go get Kim. And Kim came sauntering, trying to figure out why she was being waken up at this hour. And she just, oh my goodness. And boom, she's gone now to go get the camera and record this. And and we sat there at the table, the two of us, and Dennis and Kim were like, oh, well, we'll get breakfast on. And they're in the kitchen doing stuff, and Alex just sat there, and we worked on our stuff and got the world's problem solved all at once.
I heard Alex's charts were better than yours, though.
Oh, by far. I'm better at the bass lines, but he's got the mellophone parts down cold. So it's
Oh man.
That was just one of those, that never would have happened had Dennis not just brought us into our home. This 5% of it is Dennis bringing us in and having us there. And the other 95% is Dennis being an amazing father and an amazing person, and his kids turning out just like him. So
there you go.
That's not every kid that's going to do that in that situation.
Right.
And,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I am posting, I meant to do this right away. I am posting a link in the comments on each of the Facebook pages, and I will also do so on YouTube. But there has been a Dennis Askew Memorial Scholarship Fund, which has been set up. He was such an integral part of UNCG, School for the Arts. I think I got the School for the Arts part right. They rebranded recently. So it's not a school of music. But anyway, UNCG, very, very, very important to him. He was very important to it. And saying it that way is like totally that's quite an understatement. I mean, he was woven into the fabric of that place over the last couple of decades. And on Kim, his wife's Facebook page, it is a public post, so anybody can access it. But there are now, it's in the comments of all three, and I'm going to go to YouTube as soon as one of you start talking next. But they're trying to raise $50,000, and they have already raised $32,000 actually, which is really awesome. And that does not have the $250 yet that we are going to donate from Pedal Note Media. So we've got to. I'm going to let Lance is not good at Facebook, and so I'm going to let him figure out how to donate to a Facebook fundraiser. So Dennis would be mad at me if I would do it for him. So he's the money guy; he gets to figure it out. So
perfect.
Yeah,
That's
there you
perfect.
go. But please, if you can. Even if you didn't know Dennis, if you've got $5, like please donate to this thing and help us get this to $50,000 and beyond. He cared so. I know Lance and he, the three of us together, Lance and he, me and I'm sure you and he also, Tom, had so many talks about UNCG and the direction it was going, the direction it needed to go. And it was, I don't know, a year ago.
Yeah.
Year and a half ago when he pinged you and I, Lance. This is before like the reckoning really came on a lot of fronts for academia. He was doing that before it was, it was quote unquote, had to happen because of forces, which I think is an awesome thing, by the way. There's zero commentary there. Decades overdue. But you know, he was like, okay, if you had, he asked both Lance and I this, if you had X number of dollars to be able to designate to absolutely anything, like somebody knew, whatever, what would it look like? I mean, he was constantly just brainstorming with everybody, even people who are not administrators. He cared so much, so much.
It was not lost on me that the little article in the Greensboro newspaper and up on the website about his passing had some comments in there from the president of the university.
Hmm.
And that was, and it's not surprising in the least. He was tied into the fabric of what was happening down there.
Yeah.
He was so forward thinking. And I remember saying I think I posted it today. I always gave him crap whenever he was, whenever he got sucked into being the substitute assistant director of the School of Music, because that's basically scheduling the meetings, balancing the checkbook, holding people's hands, taking care of the business side of it. And I always wanted him, and then when they actually hired him and put him in a leadership spot, I was like,
right.
I wanted him teaching tuba because I knew the kind of good he could do. And it wasn't until hearing that episode of the Brass Junkies that I realized just how forward thinking and how vast the scope of what he was trying to do, how far it reached. So it's an impressive thing.
And when we interviewed him, he was on a 1 year, and then he did a good enough job that they like made him like the guy. So yeah, because I tried to get him to talk crap about colleagues or something, and then he was like, so how about those Orioles? Yeah, so something. Yeah,
well, you always have the sense that some people, I'm going to say this as diplomatically as possible, some people strive for those sorts of positions for non-altruistic reasons, shall we say, for more ego-driven or to have it for reasons other than that they really see an opportunity for them to stretch and grow and try and help and just feel like it's like a call, like, it's like when we were talking to Zirkle, he being the kid of a preacher, a pastor is called. They feel a calling and then they accept the call and move forward. Well, they don't all do, but and I think there's a strong parallel there with Dennis, that he felt this call, like this is a thing I feel drawn to do, I feel chosen to do, and I feel an obligation to do. And not that, oh, this will be good for me, and then I'll be able to do this, and then there was no Machiavellian hijinks.
Yeah, I never thought, what is his angle here? Ever. Like even talking business stuff with him. I mean, and that doesn't make him unique, but it's like, it's something that I never even thought about, the fact that I never thought of that because it's just like absolute no brainer, right? I mean, just, yeah, he always had my best interest in mind whenever he was talking to me. And that was also, it wasn't even just my best interest. It was like, that was at the forefront of his mind. Just like every time that he talked with any student, just like every time he ever talked with anybody. He was just so genuine.
When he was talking to you, you were the only person he was talking to.
Amen.
And you were the reason there was a conversation, and you were the most important thing.
Yep.
He was always like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, we get cynical and we start to get suspicious of someone who doesn't trip that flag of, that warning buzzer. Well, why do there must be an angle to this somewhere. No,
mm-hmm.
He never trips the flag because there never is an angle. And even when you're old and crotchety and your BS detector can pick that up a mile away, it's like, yeah, no, Dennis is the real deal. We lost a good one.
Yeah.
And yet he was driven. Like, it wasn't like he didn't have aspirations. It wasn't that he wasn't going places and wasn't constantly scheming and, and thinking about his next move. But yet it was, because I think it's easy to always be just kind of laid back when you don't have a lot of aspirations. But he was always making things happen and always was laid back and thinking of everybody else first, which is totally possible, but it can be hard, right? I mean, success can make that hard. Failure can make that hard. Aging can make that hard. I mean, at some point it can, I think it can be pretty natural to like, just 5-10% of this is like, okay, the world kind of screws you over a lot. I'm just going to take a little bit of my energy and make sure that I'm taken care of, and then I'm going to do good for everybody. And I just, boy, that certainly never came through in anything from the knucklehead one-liners that we would exchange to staying up late at night talking about the direction of higher education and where it needed to go and how fast it needed to get there and anything in between.
And he was super smart about a lot of that stuff. I remember him, he was telling us that he any program on any student recital, any newspaper article, anything that had his name on it, from anything he did, high school, college, grad school, you name it, he saved it, and it all went onto like the scrapbook pages and went into big 3-ring binders, because you never know what someone's going to ask for, and you never know what you're going to need at the next thing. So his CV was basically a couple of Rubbermaid storage tubs of 3-ring binders. So if anybody asked him for his CV, he'd be like, sure, be there Tuesday morning. I'm going to back the car up and unload it for you. And you can peruse that.
I have to call U-Haul first. Yeah. Just to make sure of the availability, but it should be fine.
Should be good to go. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh, not ideal.
Well, I know. He's what we should try to be, he really is.
Yep. Yeah. I said in my initial thoughts on Facebook that just like in so many ways, he was somebody that I looked up to, like that. And he and I got into this in the episode that you'll hear on Tuesday with Zirkle, but like he treated me fully like a colleague, even though when he first met me and heard me with Boston Brass, I was 25, and he was only I don't know, like 12 years older than that. I mean, he wasn't 40 yet, but we were not, let's just say we were not in the same phases of life at that point. So it would be, I think would be a fair, he would probably agree with that characterization of him, me, and us. And yet he treated me like fully like a colleague, but he just, people like him who lead by example. It's so powerful. He doesn't talk about it. I'm sure he did talk about it a lot with his students, because that's what a teacher does. But we kind of all studied with him in a way, just because he led by example all the time. Yeah.
How did you? I'm just trying to remember. I don't remember how I met him exactly. My best guess is that I met him at an Army conference. There was probably beer involved, and that would put it in the 90s. So I was trying to figure it's got to be close to 30 years ago that I first met him, but I just can't really remember. Do you remember, Tom, how you met him?
Probably at the same conference with the same beer, and we have the same haze over it. So
yeah, that's right.
I can remember
the VFW Hall or someplace.
Yeah, and I remember the iTech that he hosted at UNC Greensboro,
where I met Andrew Hitz.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that, but yes,
don't remember. Yeah,
I did meet Lance, and I did meet Dennis. So
you remember the Tuesday before the conference and the Sunday after the conference, but
there was a lot of time spent with Sam Palavian and Patrick Sheridan and John Sass out of the public eye.
Right. That conference was the first. There were several times we were trying to get Dennis to come out and have a beer at the evening, just to sort of unwind. And when you run an iTech, you don't go out until it's all said and done on our Saturday night. And we had no idea. And it wasn't until that conference and I got to see him as you are, anybody who runs an iTech, you are maxed out. You have every brain cell is activated. Our buddy Bart was up there in the studio taking the phone calls and taking notes and making sure the bills got paid. And Dennis was running 6 ways from Sunday, and all the students were active and doing stuff. And yeah, it's like, wow, okay, Dennis is a very serious grown up. I can't do what he's doing right now. That's impressive. That's really cool. I never would have seen that just hanging out with him. But yeah, oh, he's the real deal. That conference was impressive.
Oh boy, there's a famous artifact from that conference. Actually, the
Masking tape.
the I wasn't going there, Lance. I was not going there. I was going
Oh.
a different place,
what
Lance.
you were talking about.
Well, the people that I mentioned before, we had a different week than say Dennis did. It was a little less stressful, and there was one evening at the Courtyard by Marriott that was so legendary that Mr. Patrick Sheridan actually took out a pad of paper and a pen, and he started he started documenting the evening, and it's referred to as the captain's log.
Oh, I remember.
And
this.
and the captain's log is that piece of paper is still up on Pat's wall in his office. So like that was a famous night. That was a very famous night. So yeah, whoever performed the evening iTech concert that night, sorry we didn't make it.
No, that's not the right response. You guys were awesome.
You guys were amazing.
Yeah,
That was I've never. I mean, never.
Man, you were all over that Helicon. I didn't play the Helicon hits. That's what I said. Your Susan playing was killer. You're like, I played the Von Williams. Like that too. I mean, like I couldn't believe that. I didn't even know you played the normal tuba. It was amazing. It was, For anybody who happens to be listening and or watching or whatever and doesn't know Tom, he's former President's Own Marine Band. He's like an amazing tuba player, which is why,
he's like an amazing tuba player.
And unlike he's I mean the effort he puts in reminds me of the effort of the world-renowned tuba players I know. It's very similar, like the vibe.
You know how some people make it look so easy? Not Tom.
No, but he's if you're not careful, he can fool you into thinking he's quite competent at operating one of those things.
Masquerading as a professional for 30 years.
Yeah, amen, man.
Hey, man,
I mean,
were you in the
21 years,
hotel room in Indiana in that there was that massive brass? That was the night that I met Sheridan and the night that I met Mike Dunn and the night that I met Zirkle and Coburn was there.
Oh, no, I was not. Okay. I was not on that particular trip, although at your request, I have hassled Mike Colburn about that relentlessly over the years.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I would come back from it got to the point where I would come back from a conference and I would just be walking up to him and he'd be like, right, Lance says hi. I got it. Thank you. So, yeah. Just waving me off before I even get a chance.
I saw it many times in a Boston Brass lobby when there was somebody who was in the Marine Band who happened to be there, and Lance would get like that twinkle in his eye. This is when Colburn was the commander still. It'd be like, you need to ask, Commander Colburn, do me a favor and ask him, and they would be like, I am not going to do that. Thank you very much. I will not do that. Yeah,
it seems like a benign request. I am sure it is not.
Because I'm guessing that you have his number in your phone and you could do it yourself, but you're just trying to amuse yourself at possibly the price of my career. So no, I'm not going to do that. Yep. Yeah, good times. You know.
I got to share that with him in person. We were both at the IET, I don't know, whenever that was, and we ended up just sitting and howling, laughing. And I felt kind of bad because there were 20 people at the table. But once you get to that big, it's like if there's 6 people at the table and 2 splinter off, then it's really weird. Once it gets past that whatever, then it's free for all.
Then you're stuck with your neighbors.
Just like sat and lost our minds Like how many people like he like I just it had to have been dozens of people that I sent his way, and even if like a third of them followed up on it, that was some good friend torture.
Oh,
Yeah.
classic stuff. Absolutely.
Gosh,
That's what friends are for, though, especially
That's
when
right.
you're as important. I mean, he still is, but especially when you're as important as he was in his role at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't get a lot of that, So
Right.
it's like, so it's good to just kind of, to have an old dear friend like Lance just, continually through through other people, chopping you off at the knees, like that's good. That's what friends are for. So.
You ever watch? Have you watched Schitt's Creek? Have you watched that show?
I have not seen it yet, although
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's got Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara are worth the price of admission.
Those
But
two,
anyway,
yeah, they're
the,
two of
the,
my favorite
the,
ever.
the kids who are grown, the daughter just continually annoys the brother by poking him in the nose and going, boop. And she must do it 60 times over the course of the run of the show. And it just infuriates him. And that's how I feel about my dear friends. Like, I just want to send a little boop on the tip of your nose from time to time. In fact, I have deployed a boop to, let's see, it hasn't been deployed. So should I say, Christian Character is may be receiving a boop from me from an unexpected source in the next few days.
Funny.
When you see Christian, ask him about blank. There's that whole thing.
There you go. Hey, we have a big announcement coming in the Zirkle episode, so don't miss it on Tuesday. We got a big announcement. It's like it's
Really?
big. Yeah, it's big.
Wow.
So yeah, we decided to we should have probably booked a bigger guest than Zirkle now that I think about it for a big announcement, but it's like I guess yeah.
Do the best you can with what you have to work with.
That's right. I'd rather work with Zirkle than the best guys in town. Thank you, Wes.
Oh goodness.
Well,
Yeah,
got
and
2 minutes.
I have taken that line over as my own, and I deliver it every time that I sub with the National Symphony Orchestra. That's what I say with to the trombones as I'm saying, instead of saying thank you, I just say I'd rather work with you guys than the best guys in town. So, which they find funny. So, yeah. I haven't been called in 2020 to sub, so maybe I pissed them off, or maybe there's a pandemic, or maybe both. Who knows? Yeah, who knows? So, all right. Well, I haven't eaten dinner yet, and my wife made Indian food tonight, and the house smells ridiculous, and I need to go and put that into my pile. So, please, if you can, this is going to be up on our YouTube channel. The link is in there. If you can donate to the scholarship fund, even 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Yeah, donate 5 minutes to the. Yeah, it's like I see dollars. How do you donate? How do you donate time? I'm broke, but I have time. I have other resources too. I care. If you can donate $5, then please do. Yeah, that would. I'm sure that every single one of those that are coming in means the world to Kim and to all 3 of their kids. And yeah, so please, if you can, give. And yeah, Tom, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. And
Good
good luck with those swords.
As long as I leave them hanging on a wall, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, all right, that is going to do it for this week's.
Are we doing one on
Brass
Super Bowl
Junkies
Sunday?
Oh,
Are we doing one
that's
next week?
right. No, we
No.
are not. We're moving it to the day after. We're moving it to Monday, so it'll be
Glad
Brass
you
Junkies, which
reminded
I
me.
actually
Not that I forgot. Not
I
that I,
was gonna
wouldn't
say-
remember. Of
Well,
course.
I was just wondering whether Lance actually remembered the specific conversation we had, saying, "Hey, can we put it off?" He does.
Not until
so,
now. I do know.
And not until now. That's fine. So we will not see you next Sunday. We will see you a week from tomorrow for Brass Junkies Sunday, Monday. So, or we'll be Brass Junkies Monday on Sunday. I don't know.
Brass Monkeys Sunday.
We will. We're gonna run it by our various focus groups and figure out which one has better branding, and then we'll go with that. So
Some A/B testing. We'll run it up.
some A/B testing. Absolutely.
Abby, come help these guys. Seriously.
All right, everybody.